I am Rico Bullford, and this is Uncut News. It seems like Chairman Singh is fed up with a legal runaround as she is arguing for tomorrow's case before the appeals court to be dismissed. Justice Singh, through her attorney, Kim Kite-Thomas, called the appeal frivolous, vexatious, and amounts to an abuse of the court's process. She reasoned that the issues raised were heard and determined before, and as such it would be pointless to revisit what the Court of Appeals and the CCJ had already ruled on, and in many respects to go against what has already been established would be to counter years of accepted practice in the legal system. The scene was dynamic this morning at the Georgetown Magistrates Court as crowds of coalition supporters came out to show support for Keith Lowenfield prior to him being slapped with 3 private criminal fraud charges. The charges were in relation to his declaration of the election's results. Though the charges were filed since June 30th, Lowenfield had been ducking and dodging the court order up until yesterday. He did not show up on his initial court date on July 3rd, 2020, as the court's bailiff was unable to serve the documents to him, which led to the summons being issued. He was not required to plead to the charges. He was granted bail in the sum of $450,000. Lowenfield is expected back in court August 14th. Despite restrictions on large social gatherings and a steadily increasing rate of positive cases, the coalition has planned a series of public meetings for this weekend. Because why not at this point? Who cares about getting sick or even following your own rules, am I right? Anyway, the public meetings are expected to commence at 9:30 a.m. across various locations in Region 3, Essequibo Isles, West Demerara. Officials will be speaking in places such as Parika, Crane, and Iflut on the west coast, and on the west bank in Phoenix Park, Bagottville, and Parfait Harmony. However, when contacted by iNews, General Secretary of APNU, Amina Ali, said that it was coalition's business and that she would neither confirm nor deny what is going on. Sensi Bill bought a new motorcycle. Crook stole his motorcycle, but he had a GPS tracker and was able to locate his bike. Be like Sensi Bill. Get you a GPS tracker at Triple B's Enterprise. Call them on telephone number 682-8326. Police are currently investigating the shooting death of a man on Middle Road, La Penitence, Georgetown, yesterday afternoon. Navindra Samaru was shot by 2 armed men who escaped on a motorcycle. The men stole a bag from Samaru, however, the contents of which are currently unknown. Tropical Storm Gonzalo is expected to become the first hurricane of the season by tonight. Meantime, a tropical depression has formed in the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm, according to the National Hurricane Center in the USA. A hurricane watch has been issued for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as Gonzalo is expected to strengthen into a hurricane over the next 24 hours and peak at a Category 1. Trinidad has since issued a tropical storm watch for Tobago and Grenada. In its latest filing to the US government, ATN International Inc., the parent company of GTNT, expressed concerns about the election stalemate and the likely implications for the liberalization of the telecommunications network in this nation. What a mouthful. The current administration has been negotiating with GTNT over the past 4 years for an agreement to end the monopoly. But as of the start of the elections, those talks were still ongoing. Thus, ATN told the authorities that there can be no assurance that its discussions with the government will resume or be concluded once the elections are determined, or that such discussions will satisfactorily address the company's contractual exclusivity rights. Despite reports over the past 4 years saying that GT&T will agree to let go of its stranglehold of the telecom sector, it has insisted that it wants a few concessions first. Now available at BM Soot, this 2014 Volkswagen Passat for $3.4 million. Don't have all the cash? Find out about their in-house financing option. Their showroom is located at Lot 9 Crow Street, Georgetown, or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Soot auto sales. It's your turn to drive. Now, let's take a look at the region. The Central Bank of Costa Rica has announced the upcoming release of new banknotes printed on polymer substrate, a recyclable compound similar to plastic, with greater durability than the existing ones in the country. The BCCR press release states that the bills that will enter into circulation in the coming months are of the denominations of 2,000, 5,000, and 20,000 colones, which is the equivalent of 350, 870, and 34.80 US, respectively, at current exchange rates, while the 10,000 colones, which equals about 1740 US, will be issued later. Jamaicans living with HIV/AIDS will now be able to access clinicians, laboratories, and pharmacies within the private sector with the launch of Health Connect Jamaica, which aims to provide an alternative to the public health system for HIV care. The project was launched Wednesday and is partly funded by USAID. There are currently more than 32,000 people living with HIV in Jamaica, but only about 84% of them know their status. Bolivia has postponed its general election over fears the planned date could coincide with a possible peak in infections. It is the second time the vote has been postponed due to the pandemic. It was originally scheduled for May, but was pushed back to September due to lockdown measures. Officials said the election has now been scheduled for 18th of October. This is because many families have been affected by the pandemic. Even Bolivia's interim president, Janine Áñez, tested positive for the virus 2 weeks ago. The country has recorded 2,407 deaths and more than 65,000 infections. Get this Digicel DL3 at Cellular Plus for just $9,000 as part of their mid-year sale. Hurry down to their City Mall, Starbucks Square, Massey Providence, or Massey Turkine locations and take advantage of this half-price deal. Call them on telephone number 683-3109 for more info. Cellular Plus, Guyana's #1 cellular superstore. Now for our weird news story of the day. A German national has been living in the transit area of the Delhi airport in India since March 18th due to the flight restrictions induced by the pandemic. Officials said that the German man was heading from Hanoi, Vietnam to Istanbul via Delhi on March 18th. But since India suspended flight operations to and from Turkey on that date, he got stranded at the Delhi airport's Terminal 3. Since he has got a criminal record in his home country of Germany, he does not want to go there, the officials said. Food and other amenities are being provided by the airport officials to him. Now, while the German government is in contact with the man, they have not ordered his return, nor has India been compelled to force him. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day, we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best one in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, will a third party one day win the elections? Laverne Charles said, it will take decades for a third party to win, but not impossible. This is because it will take a new generation which is not brainwashed to say enough is enough. We need a change or a complete paradigm shift in the mindset of the current generation. Renee Wilson said, no, I don't really think that a third party will win the next election. However, I really believe that they will win seats in the next parliament, leaving the next president in a minority position. And finally, Rochelle Neblett said, yes, I think so, and do hope so. I have seen new and educated politicians in the front line fighting for our democracy. I truly believe that with their views and interest in Guyana becoming the best it can be, they have a bright future for 2025. Good answers, people. So tonight, I leave you with this question. What things can the government do to help stimulate the economy, but still keep people safe during the pandemic? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in our next episode. That's all the time we have for tonight. Until next time, I'm Noriko Bulford saying have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha ha! Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now!